What's up, you guys? It's Cody coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to be testing the kc300 at 2000 and 2500 RPMs because we did this with the stock turbo. So now we want to compare the kc300 to the stock turbo at 2000 RPM and 2500 RPM just to see if there's any difference. I've been driving the truck with the new turbo for a few weeks now, so I've obviously kind of hit those RPMs and I haven't seen much of a difference. However, I did the first test on a hill. I'm going to do this test on the same hill at the same speed, so I'll hopefully be in the same gear, so that way the test will be more accurate. I have not done it, I have not hit that hill, so hitting that hill that I'm going to do this test on will allow me to hold that speed. Like, I was going about 40 miles an hour with the stock turbo, so I was holding 40 miles an hour going up that hill, and we got, I think, 2 or 3 psi at 2000 RPM and like 10 to 11 psi at 2500 RPM. So like I said, we're gonna hit the same hill at the same speed, about 40 miles an hour, and check out the kc300 in comparison. Now, the kc300 is maxing out at 25 psi, or at least appears to, according to the Edge, which is also what the stock turbo was hitting. But like I said before, I can feel the difference even though it's 25 psi. Now, KC turbos, they kind of touched base with me on that and kind of mentioned that it is a bigger housing turbo and a bigger turbo altogether. So even 25 psi on a bigger turbo is it does make a difference over 25 psi on a smaller turbo. It is still more air, there's more volume. That does make sense. So even if we're hitting the same psi, it's a little bit of a bigger turbo, so there is still kind of more boost in a sense. At least that's what KC turbos told me. Again, I'm no professional, this is kind of what they told me. Hopefully I'm explaining that correctly, but either way, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to test this thing out here pretty soon. Now, in my last video, we did do the comparison of the 5-inch straight pipe with and without the tip. As you can see, we still have not yet put the tip on. Now, most of you commented that you thought it sounded better with the tip, so I am going to go ahead and just throw the tip back on there. I'm not going to weld that extension piece like I was talking about. If we thought it sounded better without the tip, I was going to weld the extension piece and slip the tip over it. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go ahead and throw the tip right back on as it is. Now, one last thing before we get into the test real quick, I just want to give you guys a little update on my track bars. I ordered my track bars, I think, like 14 full weeks ago, so I've been waiting for them, you guys. I'm sorry I haven't gotten them yet and put them on. I can't wait to get them and make that video for you guys. I think they're gonna look great under the truck. They're taking a really long time. Now, I did call the company that is making my track bars and got a little bit of an update. I kind of, you know, vented a little bit, like, come on, 14 weeks, that's a really long time. So he said he's gonna try and get them done as soon as possible, so hopefully they are done real soon and we could throw them on the truck. And I can't wait for that because I am sick of the axle wrap that we're getting, all the vibrating, and I'm sure we're doing some damage to the U-joints and stuff like that. So super excited. Hopefully those come real soon. And then one thing, I gotta save up for it because this is gonna cost just about as much as my whole turbo upgrade did, which was a lot of money. But I do want to re-gear the axles. I actually think that trying to do things like the turbo and injectors and all this other stuff, with how much it costs in comparison to just re-gearing, I think we'll get really good results re-gearing the axles, because we do still have stock gears with 40-inch tires, and it'll help the transmission by re-gearing the axles. So that's what I'm hoping to do eventually. Gotta save up a little bit for that because it's gonna be a lot, like I said. But yep, that's to come. And that's pretty much it for the updates. Let's go ahead and jump in the truck and head on out. Alright, you guys, here we go. About to hit the hill. Let's get to 40 miles an hour at 2000 RPMs. There we are. 2000 RPMs. Sorry, I'm trying to get you guys the best view I can. 2000 RPMs. We're tapping, God, it's so shaky. 3 and 4 psi at 40 miles an hour. Alright, you guys, that's really shaky and the sun is making it really hard to see on camera. I'm going to try again just so you guys know what you're looking at when I do this test, because it will be hard to see. This bottom right number right here is going to be our boost psi. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Like I said, 2 to 3 psi. And then here's our miles. Oh, that's our miles per gallon. That's our miles per hour. So we're looking for about 40 miles an hour right there. And then we'll see what our boost is. And then again, we want to be at about 2000 RPM. So we're going to go back up the hill and try it again. Hopefully I can get you guys a better view because it did not work out this last time. Alright, here we go. Let's get to 40 miles an hour. Right about there. 39. Okay. 2,000 RPM. 39 miles an hour. And again, we're seeing 2 to 3 PSI. So like I said, not much of a difference from the stock turbo. Hopefully you guys can see again. We got 40 miles an hour, 3 PSI. There you go. At 2,000, just about 2,000 RPM. Let's get to 2,500. So let's slow down. We still want to be about 40 miles an hour. That's how we did the last one. All right. There's 2,500 RPMs. We're going about 47, 49, 59 PSI is what we saw last time. Still at 2,500. We started at 40 and hit 50 by the end of the last test, and we still were seeing about 9 to 10. There's 9. So pretty much the same. So as you guys can see, we're getting pretty much the same PSI, same amount of boost. However, one thing I would like to point out that I forgot to mention in the install video when we initially tested this, and I think we did another video after that. Anyways, one thing I forgot to mention is that we are no longer getting turbo surge. That's a good thing. The last turbo, the stock turbo, was hitting 25 PSI, but it was getting a lot of turbo surge, or turbo bark is another thing I've heard it called. We were just putting way too much boost on that stock turbo. Getting 25 PSI was just way too much for it. And this new kc300 hits it much easier, and I have not heard any turbo surge from it at all. So that's obviously really good news. I did want to point that out. You know, even if we're performing at pretty much the same amount of boost PSI, it's handling it much better. Who knows how much longer that stock turbo would have lasted, but probably not much longer. All right, you guys, we're back at the house. We got the test done just in time, but something's wrong. Definitely something weird is happening. Basically, our overdrive light is blinking, and I thought that was weird. The truck was kind of making a weird noise when I accelerated, kind of like a weird whining, like it was like a whining, high-pitched whining noise, and the truck didn't want to accelerate as much. And I pulled up the code reader on the edge. We got a P1783 code, and I looked that up. That's transmission overheating. Came back over here. 275 degree transmission fluid temperature. You guys, I have never seen 275 degrees on this thing on transmission temperature. That thing, sorry, I keep hitting lock and unlock. That number right there is usually around 180 up to 200 degrees on a hot day. When I'm driving the truck hard on a hot day, it gets up to about 200 degrees. I've never seen it at 275 degrees. Obviously, we have a code that says transmission temperature, and overdrive light is blinking. The weird thing is, I've been sitting here, the truck's been idling about 5 to 10 minutes, and that temperature has not moved. It hasn't gone down a single degree. So that's kind of weird. You're telling me that it's staying at 275 degrees at idle, not going down at all. That's kind of weird. I feel like if it was actually a physical transmission problem, the transmission temperature would still be going down. I would have felt some slipping. I didn't feel any slipping. Again, it seemed like it didn't want to accelerate, but we got a code. We got some weird stuff going on, so it could be more the computer. But again, I feel like our transmission temperature should be going down, and it's not going down at all. Something's weird. Maybe a sensor, I don't know. Or it's time for a new transmission. I hope not. This transmission is really only a few years old. I have the receipt. I think this transmission was rebuilt in like 2017 or something like that. It was rebuilt right before I got the truck. I had the receipt for it and everything. Let me know what you guys think so I can look into it a little bit, and then if I don't know what the problem is, maybe I'll have to take it to a shop or a transmission and have a tech look at it or something. But that's pretty much it. Test is over. Truck is broken. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think is going on here. Let me know what you thought about the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.